Oh, thank you for watching this video. This video is brought to you by newqbo.com. So that's our QBO blog. We have great articles and free video tutorials on QuickBooks Online. And so if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channels, we have two channels, youtube.com/VP Controller and youtube.com/QuickBooks QBO, the one you're watching right now. So in this video I'm going to talk about QBO projects overview. This is the latest one, March of 2019, and this is a specific video, deals with hourly time costs or labor costs without QuickBooks payroll or with outside third-party payroll. So if you're using third-party payroll and not using QuickBooks payroll, so how to handle that in QBO projects, and also discuss independent contractors. It's not employee, but you're using outside 1099 contractors. Okay, so I'm going to go to QuickBooks Online. So this is QuickBooks Online. Okay, so I'm going to click this projects one. I've already set up two projects, but I don't have any income or cost. It's pretty blank. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is hourly cost rate. Hourly cost rate. I already done this in here. Okay, and if you click this and click this little calculator, it will give you the cost breakdown in here. Okay, so the wages and all the breakdown, and taxes, workers' comp, and at the bottom is overhead rate. Okay, I'm just gonna give you an example. Let's say your $50 is your wages for this person per hourly rate, and then it will automatically compute the employer taxes, and then you need to figure out what is additional taxes. Let's just say it's half of this employer taxes, so that comes to $1.91. okay, and let's say the workers' comp is 3% of your wages, just an example, so that's $1.50, and your overhead rate is 100% of this wages. If it's $50 is your wage, and overhead is also $50, let's say. So this is how I got the 107.24. okay, now the question is, how do you compute overhead? It's not that simple. You may have a complex chart of accounts, but I'm going to show you a simple way to understand how to come up with the overhead rate. Okay, I'm just going to save this. Okay, so let's just go to chart of accounts in here. So this is chart of accounts. Okay, I'm on chart of accounts, and I'm just going to click this new. I'm going to show you. Okay, so in here you will see the account type, cost of goods sold, and expenses. So in cost of goods sold, you will see cost of labor. So this is where you enter your wages, cost of labor. Okay, and I've already done this in here. Cost of labor, employees. See, cost of labor, this is employees labor cost. Okay, so this one is your direct cost, or you can call it variable cost, and this person is working on this project. So if there is a project and working on this project, then you have a cost of labor, variable cost. If this person is not working on this project, probably unemployed by now, or will be working on some indirect project, and then if that's the case, then it goes to your indirect side expenses. Expenses in here. This is all expenses side. Okay, so now let's just go in here. Okay, so the way to calculate overhead rate is basically overhead, your expenses divided by your cost of labor. Okay, So let's say your expenses is $10,000 and your cost of labor out of this cost of goods sold type is 10,000. It's basically 100%. So cost of labor, 10,000, total expenses pool, your indirect cost is 10,000, so this 100%. Okay, so that's just how easy way to one simple way to compute your overhead rate. So you need to do it on your spreadsheet. Okay, so now let's go back to this thing. Okay, let us say this person worked on this Project Crystal, Los Angeles LA Technology Development Project. Okay, so let's fill out the timesheet. Remember, this one is still without payroll, QuickBooks payroll in here. Someone is doing payroll, outside payroll in here. Okay, so here's the person, so the employee in here. It automatically computes the with this is fully burdened in here, wages plus taxes plus the overhead. So this is your total cost per hourly cost for this project. Okay, and let's say this one you're billing it for $250. Okay, and now so basically the way you get this is $250 in here is you go to employees and let's click in here. Say this one automatically comes out from when you do the hourly rate metrics in there, and the billing rate you have to enter it and say this is default, or you charge different rate for different customers, then you don't need to see that, or you can change it. So billable by default is fine. Okay, so that's how I got the billable rate in here. Okay, so now you're ready to enter some time. Let's just say this is the project. So Los Angeles, make sure this is the project one in here, see? So it will say project in here, not the sub customer or sub account, Okay, so in here, let's just say, let's say this person worked on this project for 10 hours. Okay, so $250 times 10, $2,500, and your cost for this project is 107.24 times 10. Difference is your profit. Okay, I'm going to save this. So now, as you can see here, you've already seen the hourly time cost in here for this project in here. So this is non-posting type transaction, which basically give you overview of how much this cost is running on this project. Okay, so if you look at the P&L, you won't see this cost because you haven't entered any cost yet. Okay, so if you click it here without time cost, you won't see anything in here. Show all dates. Okay, so now you have this cost. Okay, so now you can just invoice this. See, it's billable time is sitting in here. Okay, so this is your profit in here. Okay, so now you still have to pay this person. This is your employee, right? Okay, so when you enter your payroll expenses, you may write a zone entry or whatever. You can still do the same. Let's say in this example, I'm just gonna write expense in here. Okay, so let's say you are writing the pay is like third-party payroll in here. Name of third-party payroll. Okay, and normally probably you just write your payroll expenses in here, right? So payroll expenses in here. Let's see if I have payroll expenses in here. Okay, so you may want to break down wages, taxes, and everything, but I'm just going to lump everything in here. All right, so so it was like let's just say was 10 hours without overhead is $573. This is an example in here. Okay, so when you enter this, you don't need to select project now because you already allocated the burden for that project. You know, it's hourly time cost, so you don't need to do it. But if you just select this, see what happens in here. So I'll show you why you don't need to select this. So when you enter your actual expenses, okay, see, as you can see here, it's a duplicate. Part of this 573 is already here, and it's a duplicate. It created transaction twice, so you know it will affect your profit line in here. This one, $2,500 income, not going to change, but it's you're entering payroll expenses as well as hourly time costs in here. So if you want to see the hourly time cost with fully burdened, you know, then you don't need to select the customer project in here. Just don't select that one, then you'll be fine. See, now we go back to the projects. Okay, so this is how this one works. So this is basically, it's a non-posting type, as I said, but this is fully burdened, so it'll give you a snapshot of how much profit you have in this project. So that's the basic way to look at this overview. So overview means this is the user income, so this is already invoiced to your customer, and this is your cost overview. This is fully burdened. See, 107 is cost rate. This includes the overhead, wages, and taxes, employer payroll taxes, and this is billable, and 250. So billable and non-billable doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's just say this one you want to enter cost again, time again. Okay, so another employee in here. Okay, okay, so this one, let's say it's a fixed price contract and you don't need to bill this, and this person worked 10 hours, right? It doesn't show anything in here. Okay, so here's your cost, it's still the same, 10 hours. So now you need to invoice this, see what happens in here. So you won't see anything in here, so you have to bill this separately. Alright, let's say consulting in here. So this is 10 hours, and let's say whatever. Let's say this you have figure out this is the, I'm going to start $250 or whatever the rate is. Okay, so this one is a fixed price contract, and you're using non-billable rate in here. Okay, so this is how it works between the billable and non-billable. Okay, so now what if you have contractor working on this thing? Okay, alright, let us say this one in here. So the contractors, let's say you want to use, this is the Project Magna, City of Irvine. Okay, so just fill out the timesheet in here, and basically you want to track time in here. You want to figure out how many hours these contractors or employees working on this project. Okay, so let's select one contractor in here. Alright, so Amy Levine is your contractor. Okay, so the same thing, you know, if it's a contractor, you don't want to include the cost rates. As you can see here, don't use cost rates if you assign vendor bills expenses to a project. So when you enter timesheet or a time activity, you should put this at 0. Okay, and then the billable hour is fine. you know, or non-billable, it doesn't matter. You've seen the difference there. Okay, so same thing. Okay, so 10 hours. Okay, this is the billable one. Save and close. Okay, alright, see, you can see the Amy Levine, you know, hourly total cost is 0. Alright, but if you click it here, you will see the time posted in here. The cost is 0. The cost comes in when you actually pay this person. See the $10 in here. So let's just say you wrote a check to Amy. Okay, so Amy Levine, and this one is let's say contractor's expense. Okay, so 10 hours, let's say you pay $100, $1,000, right? And so you select the class, and so you don't want to select the project again, so just select save and close. So now if you go back to the projects, okay, so I think we went to the wrong project in here. Okay, so since we didn't select the this is the cost for the other one, let's see in here. Okay, so we didn't select the cost of labor in here to the project, so that's why you're not seeing it, right? But if you are selecting this, then you will see the cost underneath in here. Okay, so not that one, I think the Irvine one, I think. Okay, so as you can see here, so you paid $1,000 to contractors, and then you have 0 in here. So this is just for the labor cost, and this is actually what you paid to your contractors. And your profit margin on this one is 1,000, so 427.60. Okay, so let's see if you have billed this or not. This is just one bill in here, so you haven't billed for the other one. Okay, so here's the one from the contractor side. Okay, so now you'll see the difference in here. So the Amy Levine is your contractor, Jamie Johnson is your employee, and this one is fully burdened, and Amy Levine you're entering as 0 labor cost, but you're actually paying actual cost in here. So it's $1,000, so this is the actual cost, actual payment. And but if you look at the time activity, you can click it here, so you will see how many hours these people, this is the contractor, work on this project, how many hours employee work on this project, right? Okay, so let's see what else when you talk about this in here. Okay, so it's basically, so this is how it works. You know, it will give you the overview of this projects. Okay, so this is how the overview side works. And let's look at the other one in here. So this one has both employee as well as contractors. And the employee, you're tracking payroll from outside payroll. Okay, so hopefully this video is helpful to you, and if you have any comments, you can post it on our on our YouTube or website. Thank you again. Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels. We have all kinds of free video tutorials. youtube.com /VP Controller, youtube.com QuickBooks QBO, the one you're watching. Thank you. Bye.